All right, we pretty much are good to go, I think. Good morning, good morning. Hello, brave SK. Good morning, good morning. Hope you're all doing well. We had a pretty insane mover this morning. Stock went from like $5 to 450. So absolutely insanity on that move. Good morning, Buho Dave. Okay, so we have CISS, which seems like the only lower price stock that's moving. This is a pretty terrible daily. Stock's basically been in free fall. No news on this either. So this is probably a pure short squeeze kind of momentum. Million shares, so it's pretty low float. But even this, I'm not actually sure if it's only a million. The level 2 seems to be a little bit thickly traded. Possible distribution. But yes, good morning, everybody. I do appreciate you guys hitting the like. I don't even got to ask for it. You guys have already been on it. You guys are doing great. I appreciate everyone who gave me a like. I'll get this out to others. But yeah, this is the last day of the month. Hopefully we can have a good final day. And on a clean note, this has been honestly a pretty good month overall. You can't tell from the total account value, but really we're up about $100 on the month, right? There was the $9.99 level 2 fee, plus there was the $40 package that I bought, right? That's 49 bucks. So, okay, we're up about 90 bucks on the month. A little over 90 bucks. Still, that's pretty good. Yeah, and this thing just kind of collapsed here. Yeah, high volume on the top, low volume down here. Not really ideal. And yeah, I mean, like an 80-cent drop is pretty insane. Yeah, I don't really like this setup. Like I said, the daily's also pretty terrible, and there's no news, so there's not a whole lot propping this thing up. This would be basically a pure short squeeze play. RPGL looks like it might have something. Had a bit of a pop here. Good volume. No news in the immediate, but there might have been something recent. Yeah, because this just recently moved up. So probably just some kind of continuation from yesterday. Is there actually not even any news on the yesterday move? Following the disclosure of a securities offering. Okay, why would an offering make this go up? Kind of weird. I was able to have Schwab remove the trading restrictions on certain stocks, such as AZI, AHMA, SPRC, IOTR, and others. I simply contacted Schwab via chat and asked them to lift the restrictions. The agent asked me to confirm, and that's it. Within one business day, the restrictions were removed. Okay, that's cool. I mean, I was very against Schwab because of the restrictions, and it's very unfortunate timing too, right? Because when I was switching off of Lightspeed, I wanted to go to Thinkorswim because Thinkorswim is the broker I've used for years. So when I saw they were restricting small cap stocks, particularly high volatility stocks, to me, it just didn't make sense to go to Thinkorswim. And that's not to say that I wouldn't be against going back there to try day trading with them. I am much more familiar with their platform. But given the unclear nature of their situation right now, I would rather just stay on Webull since I've already taken the time. I've even bought the annual thing anyway. So to me, it makes more sense to stay on Webull for the time being. But in the future, I would be down to experiment more with Thinkorswim again. I mean, I'm glad that they removed that restriction because it was basically impossible for people to day trade on it. All right, every other stock you were trading, it felt like, was getting restricted. So that's cool that they seem to have removed that. But yeah, RPGL basically popped and dropped. Like, this is just a pump and dump, really. Yeah, CISS, which was the only other stock that was moving, has also popped and dropped. This is a warning. We have had multiple stocks so far just pop and drop immediately. We need to be careful here. LRHC. Another pump on no news, according to you. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's news on this one. Yes, I agree. It doesn't look like there's news. This, again, we're just seeing this daily chart be horrendous. The only real momentum here would be a short squeeze candidate. Yeah, I'm iffy on it. Like, this could go up because this has shown history of going up. Also, the volume is higher than both of these periods, so there is reason to consider this move. I'm just very iffy because, like, look at this. Like, it just died. Like, it just popped up and died. Was it at 7 o'clock? Yeah, so the high was at 7 o'clock, 7:01. So this was purely a trap play for anyone trying to buy at 7 a.m. Like, there's no beating around the bush. No. Yeah, well, not only is there no news and it's difficult to trust, but we've seen like 3 instances in the last 5 minutes where stocks have been popping and dropping. I will say LRHC, I think, is the best candidate here, just because, like I said, it's had a history of making these bigger moves. This volume is higher than these other periods. So I actually trust this one a little bit more, but not a whole lot more. Okay, if CISS keeps dropping, I need to start looking into this because this is getting a bit ridiculous. Yeah, so 140s. Hmm. 140s would probably be good. I mean, it could just bounce here. Yeah, this is extended so ridiculously fast. There is high volume on some of these candles, though, so I really don't want to buy unless we're at low, all-time low. But dude, look at this. 280 straight down to 150 in like 5-10 minutes. Yesterday we were observing pump and dumps, and I said I was going to watch for it today. And within the first 10 minutes, we've had 3 more pump and dumps. So it seems like this pattern is repeating where it seems like getting on the front side is strong. Doing any kind of pullback after the first like 5-10 minutes of the pump seems like suicide. Okay, so it looks like the 50 was the bounce point. I wanted around 145 for that extra cushion. Looks like I was too conservative on it. Yeah, already within the first 5-10 minutes, we've already had 3. Okay, LRHC. And even this, like, I would be very afraid to touch this given the history we've seen so far today. Looks like it's dumping. It could be. This is high volume here. This second candle was lower volume. See how far it extends. I put out an order at 23. Didn't get filled on it. I think it went to 20. Yeah, it went below 23, but I was too quick. I had placed the order when it was already starting to curl. Yeah. There was a bit of a volume imbalance here. Looked like an opportunity. But yeah, I don't buy for the recovery attempt. Good morning, Sergiot. Sergolt. For those of you that are coming in here, if you haven't already, if you could hit that like button, I would appreciate it. Get this out to more people. So if I did get in at 23, looks like it would have been a full-size winner. What was this drop? 520 to 4. Yes, a $1 drop in 2 minutes. So we're seeing quite aggressive selling. If this stock ends up rolling over as well, this will be 4 pump and dumps within the first 15 minutes. Fat BB? What? There's no way that can't be a stock. Fat BB? There's no way. Oh my god, it's a stock. Oh my god. Good morning, and like the stream to help more people. I appreciate it, Quantix. Thank you. Thank you very much. Good morning, Elijah. I can't believe that's actually a stock. Fat BB. I don't see it on my scanners, though. What is the float? 17 million's a bit high. It's up quite a high percent, too, right? Up almost 600%. Looks like a short squeeze, because like this thing just fell off a cliff, right? 140 down to 32 cents. And actually, I mean, this squeeze to 2s, like, this is way up here. Yeah, like, most of the move's done already. Still curious with how this will play out. I still think this is the strongest candidate, and I don't really like it. I took one attempt here. Would have been actually a hit, but just slightly too slow on that timing. Chapter 11, bankruptcy and up 500%. Yep, that's how it goes. Well, the thing is, bankruptcy is actually a good thing. And like, you might be like, that sounds so stupid, and it is stupid. But you got to understand that the longer they wait to declare bankruptcy, the more money is lost to investors, right? The deeper and deeper they go into debt, the debtors get credited from the assets of the company before the investors do. That's typically how it goes. So if there's more and more debt, then that's less money that the investors can get back from a bankruptcy. So declaring bankruptcy earlier actually helps investors. Like it helps salvage what remains of the company's share price. So yeah, declaring bankruptcy could have actually been a bullish catalyst, as stupid as that sounds. Yeah, A&L, 36 million. Like this isn't ideal either. This is such a high float. Our shares outstanding. I always just assume the worst. But yeah, this one looks very slow. I probably don't want to touch this one. Yeah, this looks like a sit on the sidelines and wait kind of day. I'm not liking a lot of these setups. Lots of pump and dumps. No clear momentum, no strong catalysts. I mean, this thing gave back the entire move in 10 minutes. It feels like bears are in complete control right now. JZXN. I feel like that's a Chinese company. Am I right on that? Yeah, it is a Chinese company. I knew it. I knew I recognized the name. So we've had a bunch of stocks failing. Now we get a Chinese stock that also has a terrible history moving. It does have news. Okay, it does at least have news. Secures $30 million investment. Can be a good one. AZI moving at the same time? That's kind of suspicious. Receives $10 million subscription. So both of these put out headlines at the exact same time. Both are Chinese stocks. Seems like a bit big of a coincidence, don't you think? I'll definitely put both of these on watch and keep an eye on them. But I don't know how much I trust this. Especially paired with how everything seems to be rolling over today. Yeah, JZN pulling back hard. AZI still pushing new highs. So this one had 20,000, 40,000. And then this one... I mean, this one has higher volume, though, which is interesting. So even though this one looks a little bit worse than AZI, this one has the better volume. AZI is my nemesis. Yeah, these are definitely the two to watch. Like, at least these have news behind them. I don't really think the news catalyst on either is that great. Yeah, both of these are basically just investments. So I don't think either of these are inherently a strong catalyst. The fact that we've had a bunch of pump and dumps, the fact these are both Chinese and they both put out the same headline at the same time, seems very suspicious to me. I think I'm mostly just going to watch. JZN has the better share profile. It's getting higher volume with less shares, but AZI is moving better than it. Okay, 260 to 3. Good momentum for anyone willing to take that risk. Good morning, and the month strong. I'm trying, nurse. I'm trying. I mean, I'll take a trade if I think there's opportunity. There's already been 2 instances where I tried to take a trade. Both of them I was a little too conservative. Or rather, the one was too conservative, the other I just didn't have enough time. By the time I placed the buy order, it was already starting to curl, and I missed the entry. But I'll take a trade if I can identify an opportunity that I think is in my favor. I'll attempt it. Regardless if today is green or red is irrelevant to me. I just want to make sure I'm taking good trades. We'll see how the 1 minute high setup plays out on this. I don't like how there's high volume on this pullback. This looks very top heavy. AZI was very strange because the volume was low on this, but then we got a massive surge of volume here. So this volume profile is very suspicious. Curious what it means. And JZXN. Okay, so looking like another pump and dump from this one. AZI is still holding up decently. AZI has already shown a history of faking out very hard with sudden drops on high volume too. So I don't really trust either of these. The fact that the best we have is 2 Chinese stocks moving suspiciously when everything else is basically pumping and dumping. This is not a great context for Friday. All right, well, let's see how good this pop is. If you bought this low, you could have gotten about 23 cents from it. So there is still range to the upside for any bounce. Just thinking that if you bought here, you could have basically doubled your money in 1 minute. It's insane. Did I get in the TCGL madness yesterday? Heck no, Charlie. Heck no. That was literally suicide to get involved with that. Yeah, the TCGL, like, to me, even looking at this, I thought this was extreme. So to me, seeing it halt down, I did call out on the Discord. I'm like, okay, first halt down, this thing's going to resume at $20. And so when I saw it resume here, I'm like, okay, it looks like it's resuming at 20 or something. I mean, I was $30 off, which sounds like way off, but given how much this is moving, I actually think my guess was pretty close. But yeah, I'm very surprised to see that this thing fully rallied and went up to 450, and it's even now still holding up decent, some more decent than expected. No, I highly suspect this company of manipulation, some sort of money laundering, because if you go and you look at the history of this stock has had millions of volumes traded, and it's just been slowly grinding up. This is not natural price movement at all. It reeks of suspicious behavior. It reeks of it. I wouldn't be surprised if this stock gets suspended, pending investigation. Okay, so AZI, looks like we got a rugger on this one. Volume's not surprisingly... This is actually surprisingly light volume. Maybe I should get involved. No, already bouncing, I guess. Fair enough. You jumped on TCGL for 5 shares at 22. Was going to check on it at work. Too busy. Looked at 6. Seen it at 450. Couldn't do anything. You're crazy for buying and holding a stock that popped up like 300 or 400% and just leaving it alone. You're crazy. So what did you sell it at? I mean, I'm assuming you're able to sell it now if you haven't. JZXN also looks like it rolled over. Yeah, these were both pump and dumps. This is so sad. We've had, what is this? This is 6 or 7 rug pulls now. Super high volume on this push down. could have maybe gotten in there, but like buying after this massive red candle is still risky. Be very careful today, guys. This feels like an incredibly hostile market right now. Right? 6 or 7 rug pulls out of like 9 stocks. This is an incredibly dangerous market. We saw some rug pulls yesterday, so this hasn't come out of nowhere. But it does seem like we're starting to see this sudden, intense selling pressure from either short sellers or insiders or whatever. But it seems very, very hostile. I'm debating like where I would even buy for a bounce if I wanted to bounce here. Because like there's no daily context. This would be purely a volume play. But the problem is this volume is insanely high. And it's Chinese, so like any move can be amplified. Oh, I'm so sorry. Got your biggest loss ever yesterday. So what did I do? What probably many people do as beginners. Not selling, averaging down. We've all been there, Marcel. We've all been there. Yeah. I'm sorry for you, man. Like that's rough. I mean, what I would do if I were you, right? And you can do whatever you want, but personally, I would take at least a day off, probably a week or more off. Just reground yourself. Think about what you did wrong. Think about what you want to do from here. Right? It can be very rough. And it's not even the money lost. It's really about like your ego gets broken, right? You're so the reason you did all the averaging down and not refusing to sell and doing illogical things is because in your mind you're trying to think that you're doing the right thing. You want to believe that you know what you're doing. So when you have big losses, your mind, the only thing on it is to recover the loss so that you believe you know what you're doing. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, man. LRHC, take a look at it. Yeah, so this one looks like it's recovering better. Yeah, I said it earlier. This was the only one I had some faith in terms of no news. Yeah, definitely trader rehab. Absolutely. Yeah. Right, and that's what I did, right? It wasn't a big loss, but I had like a capitulation event like 3 or 4 weeks ago. So I had to downsize, and I took like 2 or 3 weeks just to keep gradually increasing my size. The biggest thing is to restore trust in yourself. Because right now you're probably in a pretty compromised state where you're questioning yourself. We've all been there. And if you haven't been there yet, anyone listening, be prepared to be there. Yeah, very interesting that this slowly bled off on no volume. Sudden random surge here. This volume is still higher than every other period, right? So this is certainly in territory where this could do something. And that's why I gave it credit during the first push-up. Captain again leading our ways to exponential gains in soup. Thanks, bro. Dump it, VWAP. It looks like AZI has also given everything back. So I gotta retract LRHC because this one did recover, so I won't call this one a rug. So we're sitting at like 8 rug pulls right now. 8 rug pulls on the day. In the first 30 minutes, 8 rug pulls. Honestly, this might be, I mean, I'm not calling it early, but I wouldn't be surprised if today's a no trade day. If we're having this much of a threatening market, I don't want to take something. Well, maybe I could take reduced size. I suppose I could do that. At least to start, get my foot in the door. But I don't want to really take anything too aggressive if the market's rejecting this much. You just jinxed it. He didn't jinx it, he called it out. He predicted it. He's a wizard. Well, while we're waiting, change the mood a little bit. Yeah, you and me both, Skivon. This seems like a hotter dump cycle. Just here to show you what's on the inside. I'm the captain, watch me train. I'm doing it my way, the path I've made. Don't take my trades, don't do what I do. Just showing what is possible for you. Very big pump. Super impressive move on this thing. I was investing for years, started day trading. First trade made $600. First week made $5,000. Week 2 lost it all, never recovered. That's how it goes, Brian. Beginner's luck. Got theme music, yeah. This is a very impressive move. Good morning, After. We've just begun. Okay, so it looks like we have what is essentially just this one good mover. You could have maybe predicted it based off of the volume profile. Right, this volume was higher than these periods. But like I said, I just didn't trust it. It seemed like there was too much risk given all the rugs. Maybe I show my screener. So I'm using Zendu as a backup, as I've said. I have a couple screeners that I'm using. They're both from Thinkorswim. I'm just thinking how I could show it without like showing my profile. Because like the screen modifier where you go into Thinkorswim to change it, it's kind of like linked to your main tab. So I would probably need to customize it on OBS so it doesn't show that information. I don't think I would want to pull it up right now. I have bad experience with stocks without news. The price is too high at this point, and without news, worse. Yeah, I will say, I think my biggest losses have been from no news moves. And it makes sense, right? If a stock has popped up on no news, just generally you would think that there would be a higher chance, not saying it's like ruling it out wise, but there is a higher possibility it would fully retrace because there's no reason that the price should be up that high. Morning, holding bags from Fat BB in at $2. I'm sorry to hear that. Is that part of your strategy? I mean, you're saying holding a bag. You're green right now. I wouldn't even call it holding a bag, unless you bought here and then it was like drawing down. But I mean, to me, I would just say try to adhere to whatever strategy you're doing. Ross bought 40K shares on that big 10-second candle, up 60K right now. Wait, which one? You're saying Ross bought the LRHC move? You're saying he bought on this? I see. Okay, here's his students, probably. Students liquidating right now. So if we look here, we can see where Ross bought. And now if we look here, we can see where the students sold. He bought on that candle. How does he do that? Yeah, how does he do that? I do wonder. It's crazy, isn't it? How does he do that? Buy. Random surge of volume comes in after he buys. He sells up here for 60K. Random sudden full drop, full retracement. I'm just saying, it looks interesting, doesn't it? Ross is the market maker. Well, no, even so, if he made 60K on this, he probably bought what, 10,000, 5 or 10,000 probably, and he rode most of this move up. But the thing is, even with 5 or 10,000 shares, you look at the volume. He is not the majority of the volume here. So someone else is buying after he's buying. Could be market makers, could be algorithms. It's hard to say who is buying, but it's very interesting that after he sold here, the price fully retraced. He buys 30 to 40K shares and the market makers pull their orders. His students are the liquidity. When he sells, he sweeps the books with huge orders. Could be one theory. I mean, what you're saying is definitely possible, Bobby. The difficulty is proving that, right? I totally understand where you're coming from, and it's a logical argument. The only problem is you can't really prove that that is what is happening, right? And that's what's critical. So I acknowledge your theory. It's definitely possible. It does get a bit frustrating, though, when you see days like this where nothing seems to be working. Ross manages to get this suspiciously picture-perfect move, and then you look at the chat, and then you see that a lot of people lost money in his chat. At least that was my experience when I was using the live stream. I wonder if Ross is big enough. I thought retail traders are a tiny portion of the market. Well, I mean, when you're trading 30, 40,000 shares per trade, I mean, that's not his normal size. I know that's full size for him when he scales in. So, but still, 30, 40,000 shares, that's a lot, right? I don't know what the float is on this stock. But on Thinkorswim, it says there's only 500,000 shares. And if Ross is buying 30, 40,000 shares, he's buying almost 10% of the company. To me, that's not retail. So no, I would probably push back and say he is not a retail trader at that level. He can sweep the books on low float stocks? Yeah, definitely, right? No question about that. 40,000 shares, that would sweep the books on these stocks. The only issue, and this is what I'll push back on, and this would be a defense for Ross, right? Look at the volume before he bought. I don't know exactly when, so I'm just going to assume he bought on this breakout. Maybe he bought on this as well. It would be more damaging for him if he bought here and added here, but assuming he bought here, you look at the volume profile here, and there was already pretty high volume even before this final break. So you could argue that this was Ross capitalizing on a final squeeze of someone already getting squeezed, and it was just that he jumped in to finish off that squeeze. That sounds very bad. That sounds very bad, but but like the fact that there was volume before this final surge could be his defense, assuming he was buying here. Following how he trades, he would be saying there was a flag pattern and he would buy for the 550 psych number after the first candle to make a new high. It's like I could see him buying on the break here. I could see him buying here, right? Because this is a clear break at the top. Like, to me, a logical entry would be right where my mouse is here. It would make logical sense. I don't know why. I mean, you could argue maybe he would get in here because this was breaking this level. So there could be an argument Ross tried to get in here. And if he did get in here, that's a little more damaging to him, because you look at the volume before this, and there was no volume at all before this. So that is a bit damaging if he did get in at this level, because the volume didn't start until right here. Certainly interesting. Look at us talking about conspiracy theories and stuff, because there's nothing to do. There's nothing to trade right now. I'm literally just getting bored, and I'm going into conspiracy tinfoil hat mode. He got in on the big green candle. Okay, so you're saying he did. So you're saying he did not buy here. Instead, he bought here, or somewhere in here. Yeah, if Ross bought on this big candle and he didn't buy at this area, I would say that's a much stronger defense for Ross, because that would mean the volume came in before he got in. I would think he would buy around 530 and above. Yeah, this looks like the cleanest one. I do see an argument for this. Like, I've seen Ross buy on the curl attempt and when it breaks a high from one of the first pullbacks. So like this would look like a logical buy point to Ross as well. I don't know if anyone can validate that. Like, you're saying he bought on this candle, so yeah, you're saying on, yep, the big green. Okay. Okay, yeah, if Ross bought here, I think that's a much stronger defense for Ross. Yeah. Guy's the GOAT. I mean, he makes the money. We agree there. He makes the money. That's a good one with the tin hat. Yeah. No, I got respect for Ross regardless. Like, I think he puts a lot of effort into what he does, and I respect that. RPGL, still kind of curling. I don't like that the volume's lower here relative to this move and relative to these. Doesn't look quite as strong to me. But it's at least doing something. Honestly, the way things are looking, I'm probably just going to be waiting till top of the hour. Wish I could have gotten in before he bought. Don't we all? I would be very curious to see if someone did an inverse strategy where you shorted anytime Ross bought a stock. Because, like, I mean, just thinking logically, if most people who follow Ross's strategies lose money, and Ross is making money, like, you would think if you shorted after Ross bought, because Ross is going to be selling that. So you know that the moment Ross has bought his 40,000 shares, you know at some point 40,000 shares of selling pressure will come. So to me, that could almost be a short indicator in itself. Right? Assuming all else is neutral, you know Ross is going to sell in the near future. The anti-Ross. No, I'm serious. I'm serious. Like, wouldn't that be a logical conclusion to draw? How does it feel as a pro member there? I tried his 2-week trial and found it difficult to trade with him. So I've used the live stream. I found extreme pressure to FOMO and copy trade him. I did. I've talked with others too, and I've heard the same thing where I've heard it from at least 5 other people. They share my experience where when they were watching him trade live with thousands of others, there was extreme, not that Ross was saying, copy me, guys. He wasn't doing that, but just being in that environment, watching him trade, seeing him wait, and then finally seeing him pull the trigger, there was a huge pressure internally for me to want to copy him. And again, that's not him saying he wanted that or that wasn't his intention, right? He has disclaimers everywhere. He constantly says, don't copy him. So I'm not alleging that, but I'm just saying that there is that pressure. As far as the course, I think the course, if you're new to trading, I think the course is excellent for teaching the fundamentals. I think it's super, super well done. Ross is excellent at communicating. I think he's an incredible teacher. The beauty is there is no hesitation, no thinking. He just hits the trigger. He really is good at playing the probability game. Yeah, he seems pretty dialed in well, I have seen him falter a lot, but I agree. Generally he's on point. Same reason you stopped the stream? Yeah. Anybody who bought the stock after him is 100% guaranteed to lose money. I wouldn't say guaranteed. Like, even front-running Ross, if you get in with Ross and if you sell before he does, you could technically profit from it, but you would probably, in my opinion, if you're buying after someone who's bought 40,000 shares, right, you're buying with knowing that there's going to be 40,000 shares of selling pressure against you, which seems counterproductive. In the long run, I would suspect you lose money. "15 seconds is probably the delay of the stream." I don't remember exactly, but I know the latency was extremely low latency, Marcel. Very, very short. The 1 second chart. That's a very fast chart. The course is good, but the problem is it's massive and someone would need months, if not years, even to go through. Yeah, it took me like 4 months just to get through most of the material. And I didn't get through all of it. I got through the majority of it. Right? I didn't do 100% of the course because like there's a whole bunch of like extracurricular things. Like you have all these other teachers that are trying to show their spin on it. Like there's all these extra things that I didn't really focus a lot on that. I was focusing mostly on the core thing that Ross gave. I took his 2 weeks trial and made money. I'm just not willing to spend that type of money. Well, I mean, here's what I would offer as a counter argument, Larry. If you took 2 weeks and made money, why take the course? Right? If you're claiming that what you learned in those 2 weeks was legitimate, then that means that there's no need to take the course. Right? You can only claim that the money you made was because of the course if you actually took the course. Does that make sense? Like, I see this, I had a bunch of comments on the video saying, well, I watched Ross's courses on his YouTube channel and I'm profitable. Or I made money. I'm like, okay, that's great. What does that have to do with the course? Like, I don't understand. Like, if you made money not taking the course, isn't that an argument to not take the course? Oh, 1 second, just to see how long that move took. Yeah, no, that makes sense, right? You see this candle, you know this took place over the course of roughly a minute, but you don't know how quickly. This could have been a pop-up in 3 seconds, and then it just churned here for a minute. That's a good point. No, I understand. That actually makes a lot of sense, Marcel. The delay and he entered in 10 seconds is 2 things. I think he entered the stock. We normally see opportunities in 1 minute. Yeah. How does he know when to get out? Entry is important, but exit is also. I mean, he scales out usually from what I can tell. And if you watch how I trade, even I'm similar, right? Whenever I buy, typically I'll try to sell half before I sell all. I'll usually only sell all if like I just immediately go straight to profit, like the target. But usually I'll scale out, and I think he does the same. Trade like him is a performance that you have to develop and master. Not everyone can do it. Some people have that innate ability. That is how I felt. Well, the thing is like, if people can do it, why are all of the success stories for Ross people saying that they had to make their own strategy? Right? Because you've got the 100K club. And if you look at all the testimonials, over half of them, I think it's like 3/4 of them, said that they had to make their own strategy and that they just used the core concepts of Ross's and they had to deviate heavily from his strategy. You'd think that his testimonials would be following his strategy to the T, but it seems like the majority aren't, which I think is very interesting. Fat Baby is running up. Let's check out Fat Baby. Are you sure it's running up? It looks like it just rugged. Yeah, it just rugged 40 cents. Dervin, your timing couldn't have been worse for me to look at. Yeah, today's definitely a more slow, careful day. VSA looks interesting. The price action is interesting. No news. Volume's also pretty light. Don't really like this. Daily also looks really weird. Also, China stock. Yeah, dude, this is such a horrible day. Like, China stock, no volume, no news, terrible daily. Like, this is such a terrible array of stocks to pick from today. Yeah. GCL. Take a look at it. I mean, at least this one has news behind it. Yeah, 122 million shares, though. Like, I can't trade that. It's too high. Chart pattern looks okay, and it does have news, but it's just there's the float's too high. I can't touch it. Yeah, looking more and more like a no trade day. Halfway through the session, nothing's really catching my eye. VSA dumping. Yeah, I'm not going to touch this. Chinese stock, no news. This entire move up was on light volume. Looks like a massive pump and dump to me. What is this, like number 9 now? What am I trading here? Small cap gap? Yeah, small cap stocks, not necessarily gaps. Although gaps are one of the main things I'm looking for. But yeah, it's small cap stocks. Yeah. Looking like a very sad day though today. We're looking at like 9 stocks that have done these rug pulls. A lot of China stocks too. Yeah, this is definitely one where I just need to sit tight until I see something that looks really ideal to me. I guess we can do a pull while we're waiting. Today is Friday, be careful. Yeah. Curious what you guys think about this. Very, just immediate very. Okay, it's only one vote. All right. And I'm just defining hostile as the chance of a rug pull, really. Like, to me, that's what I define hostile as. Right? It's like, when I think of hostile, I think of something like CISS actually fully, well, not fully, but mostly recovered. This is actually pretty impressive. But like, this is what I think of when I think of hostile, right? 7 a.m. right here, market opens right here, and then just immediate flush. You're only green because of TCGL. You're a very, very brave person. So it seems like we have people mostly in the somewhat to very. So it seems like people are in a very cautious state right now. Yeah, I'm still in the mindset if I do take a trade, it's probably going to be on reduced size, just because I don't know how much I trust it. Yeah, that's a hostile chart, yeah. I mean, it has recovered, right? In its defense, it has recovered. But, like, we can look at several others we've looked at today, like AZI. This is just a rug. What was it? JXZN? JZXN? Like JZXN, like this is abysmally bad. Yeah, it's rough. So it seems like you guys are mostly agreeing with me. Like, I'm somewhere between very hostile and somewhat hostile. So it seems like you guys are mostly agreeing with me. Okay, I'll make one more poll while we look for new stocks. So now that we know most people are in a very cautious state, let's see how people are doing today. Hey, one more benefit of Webull Premium. If I don't trade today, that's extra money I get towards my interest rate for the day. So I actually get rewarded for not trading if I don't want to trade. Okay, so it looks like majority hasn't traded, which I'm not really surprised by. I am surprised that people are... I'm surprised to see we've got some majority green, though. PMN, okay. Good morning, Mr. Bucky. Okay, so 12 straight to 21. Incredible movement. Very impressive. Low float. Makes sense. What do we got for news? $175 million private placement. I'm kind of surprised this has popped like this, to be honest. Yeah, this kind of pop on this low of volume doesn't look great to me. This news catalyst is also, it could be good, it also could be very bad. So someone bought 6.8 million shares. Okay, so the price they sold for was $10.77. So whoever bought these shares got them at an average price of $10.77. That is actually fairly bullish, because that is just slightly below the current price, which suggests that they're expecting price to go up. So this is actually a bullish catalyst. Had a $5 spread. LRHC. Oh, did it rug? Yeah, that's pretty nasty. A $1 flush on it. So let me understand this right. So Ross bought here. He sold here. This might be his students. And then this might be the remaining students who bag held. Okay, I need to stop messing around with that. Okay. Focus here. RPGL, I'll take a look at that as well. Yeah, that one also is popping up nicely. I'm actually somewhat bullish on this just because this news catalyst is actually bullish. It was at one point a $6 spread. Yeah, I believe it. Sounds like an SEC sort of situation. Yeah. Something to keep in mind. Well, no, I won't touch on that. Never mind. I won't touch on that. That's too controversial. Hmm. This thing's moving extremely volatilely. I need to be very clear where I want to be in. Like controversy. Yeah. So you got in at 845 to 501. Good stuff. One tick in PAMN was 30 cents. Yeah. I want to hear more about this guy. Well, I respect your curiosity. He dumps on his students. The thing is we can't prove it, right? There's lots of evidence that we can look at that you could theorize that he does it based off of his profits, based off of the volume profile of when he buys and sells. There is evidence that could support that claim, but we don't know. There's no way to prove it. It's very difficult to prove it. Are you using sub 1 minute on Webull or tick on Thinkorswim? This is just a 1 minute chart on Thinkorswim. I do have a 5 minute that you guys can't see just because I couldn't really fit it on the screen in a very readable way. And I also have the daily, which you can see. So I have 3 charts on screen right now. I also have the level 2 time and sales, you know, all the regular stuff. You can see that I have the news as well. So this ended up going from 640 to 360 or 16. Yes, this is like a $3 drop. So insane volatility on this. $3 moves. I'm red, but a small amount. Okay. Was I talking about Ross? Yes. I was talking about the potential for it. Yes. Right. And again, I'm not claiming that he is doing that. I'm just saying that there's evidence that could support that. Am I still watching him? What do you mean? Like, I still watch some of his videos sometimes. I am a pro member of the course, so. Red people make money doing the opposite of Jim Cramer. Ah, yes, the Jim Cramer inverse. Yes, of course. This is actually responding pretty well. Live? No, I'm not watching him live. No, not anymore. It's so tempting to want to get involved with this one. You got like a 60-cent spread right now. RPGL looks like it's breaking out. I'm watching that one on the side. You hit me 31K on LRHC, insane. Don't understand. It's all about volume and order flow, really. All right, so we're breaking down here. Curious how this will go. So this is a pretty big rejection. 1720 all the way down to 1460. It's another $3 drop in 1 minute. Hmm. The daily's a bit iffy too because this has been down as low as $6. Yeah, so this would be a premium buying here too. RPGL looks like it's fully rolled over. Yeah, again, we're just seeing these huge flushes out of nowhere. All right, 210 all the way down to 140. Was that a 70-cent drop? Yeah. It lost 30% of its value in 1 minute. Insane. Yeah, PMN is really interesting to me. It's bullish from the news, but it's bearish from the daily. Right, you're very extended on the daily. Price is already pretty high. But the news is bullish because someone was willing to pay premium to buy very high. See, there's a bit of a mix going on. Feeds looks like it's pulling away again here. FEED. Yeah, feed. Yeah, very nice pump on it. No news. I mean, it's more of a continuation, right? Because I think this stock's been moving for a day or two. Yeah. So it's looking more like a continuation move, potentially. Very big extension on it. Yeah, $5 straight down to 450. So again, we're seeing this pattern of super low volume on the grind up. And then volume finally starts coming through before the final push. Looks bearish to me. We'll see if it moves or not. but I'm bearish on it. Yeah. Continued high volume candles here. To me, the only thing that would invalidate this downward pressure is if we had a green candle in higher volume than these. That'd be the only redeeming factor to make this bullish again. At least in my eyes. PMN breaking out again. Big volume too on that pop. Looked like a no trade today, Cap. I hope something come out at 8:30 or 9. Yeah, no, I'm being patient, you know? I'm looking for something. I've only taken 2 potential trades and neither of them hit. I'm watching PMN. I have an entry in mind for it, but it's not doing what I'm looking for yet. But I am watching PMN. That's mainly what I'm looking at right now. Okay, so we're getting the nice curl for the 1 minute high attempt. If I get high volume, like super high volume on this candle, I would say this is bullish again, but it needs to break and it needs to be very high volume. Okay, we're getting the break here. All right, well, let's see if we get a breakdown or not. Volume's pretty high, 40,000. Okay, we went through 14, still high volume. Dude, there's no way. There's no way. The low was 51. My entry was at 1337. Oh my god, dude. I was like, how far was I? I was 14 cents from the bottom. All right. All right. All right, dude. That would have been a huge hit too. Yeah, nasty rug on it. 19 all the way down to 13. Looks like connection issues. Yeah, it might be fine, but looks like the internet just cut out there for a blip. Did I trade during the day or after hours yesterday with all the wild stocks? The only day trading that I'm doing, I'm limiting exclusively to the sessions that I am live streaming here. So I'm not doing any day trading outside of these periods. It's only swing trading. Okay, so 1337 was my entry here for this flush. Where would I go beyond that? I guess like 1120s. I don't know if it's going to go that low, though. You're heading out till open. Good luck, everyone. Good luck, Skivan. Yeah, I tend not to chase the 2-2. Seems like internet issues. Yeah, it definitely looks like it's cutting out a bit. I'm wondering if it's something with YouTube or OBS, because it seems like my data feeds are still running fine. But yeah, very blurry stream. Ugh, disgusting. Yeah. I'll keep an eye on it. I'm not really sure why it's dropping frames like this. Okay, so there seems to be a very clear support level here at around 1330s, $14. Somewhere in this range. So if it breaks, I'd be worried about it rolling down hard. Feed looks like it's rolling over. Not really surprised. Yeah, pretty big flush here. Yeah, on the daily chart, feed is a very bad value play. Right, this thing is just like squeezed crazily high. I'm still watching PMN. I have a level at the $11 somewhere that I'm looking to get in, if it does break to there. This could just hold here and bounce. I'm torn. If the daily chart was better, this would be a buy for me, but the daily is not ideal. Having this run up from $6 to here, we are at quite a premium price right now. Yeah, just sitting tight. I mean, there's nothing really else to say. Market seems pretty choppy today. Yeah, I'm not seeing a lot of clean momentum. All right, we've had a bunch of rugs earlier today. Even this move on PMN, it's been choppy up and down. Right? Like even this rug here, right? You had like a $6 rug in 2 minutes. Very, very choppy. Yeah, just sitting tight. Still got another 30 minutes or so left, so might see something. It's been a while since I had a no trade day, but it's looking more and more like today might be one of those days. Okay, so that's the third time now that the encoder has had an issue. Lovely. I mean, slow grind here, $14 up to 16, so it's gone up $2. You talk more why you didn't take this trade at 14. So I love the support. The news is actually quite bullish. Someone was willing to buy $175 million, roughly 6 million shares, at around 1077. So the fact that someone was willing to put money in when this was quite a premium compared to the daily, this tells me that this is someone who's really interested in seeing this thing pop. So that's bullish to me. The reason I didn't really want to get involved on these lows here was because this is quite extended off of the daily. I did take a snipe entry attempt on this initial breakdown. I had an entry order at 1337, and this went to 1351. So I was 14 cents off of the entry, missed the bounce, and I didn't want to chase it, so I didn't touch it beyond that. But yeah, I was 14 cents off of getting filled down here. Just your opinion, this looks like a great scalping stock. I mean, then scalp it, right? Like, I understand in hindsight, this looks like it's ranging a lot. Right, scalping stop? Stop. You mean, what? I don't know what you mean by stop. But yeah, this has a lot of range to it, and if you scalped it, you could have made good money from it. The problem is we don't know if this is going to be something that ranges or something that just rolls over. We've seen a lot of stocks today where they just flush and die. So to call out this one and say this is the one that's going to range, that's quite the statement to make. And we can all say in hindsight that this would have been a great stock to range trade. But the reality is just that we don't know that in hindsight, and we have to make educated guesses. Right? You could say, well, okay, it's been ranging well, maybe it'll range more. But the thing is how do you know it's going to keep ranging from here? Like, you could say, well, it's ranged before, so it should do it again, and you could take that risk. Sorry, stock. Okay, that's what I thought you meant. Yeah. So, yeah, if you think it's going to range, you could try and scalp it. It makes sense to me. But the question is, how do you know it's going to keep ranging? To me, this has too much risk because I think that it's too highly priced on the daily. I think there's too much risk involved with trying to scalp it. I was willing to take one very conservative entry down here on this break, right? This was a $7 drop. And I only had, what was my order for? It was a very, very small order. Yeah, I had 11 shares that I was trying to buy here. So it would have actually been a huge hit too. This would have been about a $20 winner if I would have gotten filled here and held through most of this move. But that's how it goes sometimes. And especially in this market, with how things are rolling over, I'm not really willing to take more aggressive entries. I'm really on the defensive. If you couldn't tell, I'm in a very defensive state right now. I don't really want to overextend or engage aggressively. To me, this isn't the right market to do that. I mean, it could be a great example for why today's a no trade day for me, or at least so far it's a no trade day. There just hasn't been anything. Well, the market's been hostile, in my opinion, and I haven't seen anything clean. Yeah, this has been just grinding, though. It's PMN is swabbed. It got swabbed. So, I'm guessing Quantex, you tried to take a trade on it and found out the hard way, right when you wanted to enter a trade. You got cucked. Right before it broke out, you tried to buy, and Schwab said, no, we're protecting you. Yeah. I mean, I've heard people saying you can call them up and you can have that restriction removed. So if you haven't already, I mean, if you're going to keep using Schwab, I would definitely call them up and at least ask them. Yeah, Jess is saying they did it worked. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that it's worked for them. Yeah. Very, very interesting trend we're having with this. Given how much this is ranged, just to show, like, we have this very weird range we're in right now. This is a pretty stable range. Certainly interesting. You can just open up the chat assistant to get them. You don't even need to. I heard you had to call in, Jess. Is that not the case? I heard people saying you had to call. It's not the case. Okay. I mean, fair enough. It seems like it's a newer thing too, so maybe it's just people first found out because of the call feature, but you didn't actually need to. But okay, so Jess is saying you don't actually have to even call. You could just use the chat assistant. Good to know. Okay. Well, there you go. You don't even need to call them, apparently. That way, if you're extra antisocial, you don't have to verbally talk with someone. Am I the only one that feels like this is a little bit too clean of an uptrend? Given how volatile this thing was, it's suddenly acting very rational. Jess says, exactly. I hate talking with people. Even though I do still use Schwab for swing trading, I haven't really had that issue yet where they've restricted stocks, which I think is very interesting and tells me that it seems like they're specifically focusing on high volatility, low float stocks. I don't know how they calculate it or where they get their figures from, but they probably got some algorithm working in the background where they're just deciding something's too dangerous. PMN squeezed Big Green Brother. Yeah, no, it's doing way more than I would have expected. You got a double top here, but it looks so strong. Imagine selling off $7 just to give it all back. I'm telling you, anybody who sold during this flush is probably pissed right now. They're probably fuming. And it's been such a controlled uptrend, too. Yeah, I'm basically just a spectator at this point. This thing seems very strange to me. I'm on pure spectator mode. The stocks they restrict don't make sense. Interactive Broker lets me trade TWNP and has filed for bankruptcy. Okay, that's a fair point. That is a fair point. Whatever their algorithm is, it's doing something wrong. If you're able to trade stocks filing for bankruptcy, you've probably gone wrong somewhere. No, that is a valid point. One pushback I would say, though, Jay, is just because you found one instance where it doesn't make sense doesn't mean that the methodology is wrong, right? We don't know what their formula is for determining it. What I would say is that if you notice that a lot of the stocks that they're restricting don't make sense, and that a lot of the stocks you're able to trade don't make sense, that could be, that builds a stronger case with each example you find. Also has NASDAQ delisting. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good question. What is their methodology for restricting stocks? What are they looking for? Because it doesn't seem very clear, does it? Right? The fact that you're able to trade these super risky stocks seems very interesting. And it sucks too, because I literally was going to go with Thinkorswim for my broker for this next challenge, but because of the whole situation with the restricting stocks, I thought there was too much risk involved with it, right? I'd waste all that time getting the account set up and ready, and then I just wouldn't be able to trade half the time, so... So yeah, had to go with Webull. Do I like Webull? In my opinion, currently, at least for the United States, currently I think Webull is the best broker for anyone trading with a small account. Yeah, I think Webull is an excellent option for small account traders. Has anyone had experience with the Moomoo broker? I've heard of Moomoo. I've never used it. I have heard of Moomoo though. They won't remove restrictions for me because I am not trading out of the US. Wait, what do you mean, Marcel? Are you saying that they... your wording seems a little weird to me. They won't remove it because I'm not trading out of the US. So are you saying they only remove it if you're trading out of the US? Or did you word that wrong? I heard the Webull platform is very good and easy to use with hotkeys. Yeah, they have excellent hotkeys. Second best that I've used. Lightspeed is better for hotkeys, so Webull does lose to Lightspeed. There is a pretty big gap in ability. But Webull is, I think, the second best hotkey broker I've used. And I've got like about 6 or 7 brokers I've tested. So Webull's up there. Webull is very solid. Right, $0 commissions in the US. That's a very powerful statement. The fact that I get free level 2 essentially, and I get paid to have idle cash in my account. Like, there's a lot of pros to it. There's a lot of pros to it. In about a month or so, I'm going to make a Webull review. Not affiliated, but I am planning to make a review for Webull to make it more formal. But I want to give it another month since I got Webull Premium. Okay, so their wording is, unfortunately, there is not a way to remove the process of calling or chatting into have those trades open via broker. If you reside in the US, you are able to request access. Okay, so if you're in the US, you can do it. If you're outside of the US, Charles Schwab, Thinkorswim is basically off limits. You just can't get it removed. Is that my understanding? You have to be in the US to have it removed? Is that accurate, Marcel? Can you customize hotkeys or are they predefined? No, they are extremely customizable. Yeah, Mr. Buckeye, they're very, very customizable. PRZO. Take a look at it. Yeah, I'll still get schwabbed. Oh, you got schwabbed, man. Okay, wait, what is this? So, all right, secures substantial order for major global defense corporation. That's a strong catalyst. That's a good catalyst. Let's see. 21 million floats a little high. You can kind of see it in the daily action too. It's a bit slower. The news is decent though. This seems like an okay catalyst. If the float was lower, I'd be more inclined to get in here. The float being higher is throwing me off, though. Decent volume. Good morning, market taker. Good morning. This is just kind of chopping. Interesting range, 22 to 30, so it does have some range to it. And despite 20,000 volume, we only popped up 2 or 3 cents. Yeah, it's to be expected with the float being higher. Yeah, looking like a pass for me. Unfortunate. GITS moving. It's got some volume, but no news. Also very extended on the daily. This doesn't look clean at all. Just goes straight up, and then as I go straight back down. Yeah, so slow curl up, no volume the whole time. Suddenly get a huge volume spike. Goes straight back down. Did we roll the whole way over? Looking like we do. Dude, what even is today? Like, what is this? This is like all we're getting. Sorry, I don't mean to sound bearish or pessimistic. I'm sorry. That's too pessimistic of me. But we've been seeing these pump and dumps just all day today. This is like 10 or 11 we've seen now. This is horrid. Yeah, I feel like PMN is one of the only good ones we've had. And even then, this one had 2 major rugs on it, right? Had this first flush, had this second flush. So this one wasn't even fully safe. Yeah, we're coming up on the top of the hour here. Still no trades for me. Got in at 1947, out at 2020 or 2040. Good stuff. That's almost $1 per share. Yeah, you said everything dumped this morning, missed all the action. Flip-flop, I kid you not, we had like 10 pump and dumps this morning. The turnover rate of stocks has been horrendous all morning. Almost everything that has gone up has gone down. And it's gone all the way back down. Like there has been nothing really holding. No, it's been bad. The PMN is really the only one that's held up. Yeah, I was wondering. I was like, man, Flip Flop, he's probably making bank today. We got to play this while we're waiting for the top of the hour here.
Yeah.
Is what it is today, if it's a no trade day for me.
I'm locking in. Respect the chat, let the show begin. I'm blazing trails, cutting through the tide. Just here to show you what's on the inside. I'm the captain, watch me train. I'm doing it my way, the path I've made. Don't take my
Yeah, the short squeeze yesterday was basically manipulation, in my opinion. The key here is what happened with this, having millions of shares of volume in a slow uptrend. This is artificial.
Flip-flops with me, it's a total vibe. Suppers everywhere, let the rhythm guide. Nutritious and delicious soup is a sign. Today the soup is yours and mine. The captain is on deck, what the heck, he's gonna get your feet wet. Don't spill the soup while I'm streaming on YouTube. I'm the captain, watch me train. I'm doing it my way, the path I've made. Don't take my trace, don't do what I do. Just showing what is possible for you, for you.
Bit of a fake out here.
Respect the deck. Soup for everyone. We've just begun.
I know Ross, people were saying Ross traded LRHC, I think. I forget. I don't know the LRHC. Yeah, so people were saying Ross traded this breakout here. I can't validate that, but someone said he made 30K from that. Yeah, 31K. But yeah, we got 5 minutes till the top of the hour. Unfortunately, I'm sitting on no trades today. If we see anything that is worth trading, I will stick around and potentially trade it. I won't give up till the final bell rings, but it's not looking good. Looking like a no trade day. Everything is pump and dump, but he always makes bank. Yeah. He's just that good. Last chance 4 men. No, I'm not expecting anything to happen between now and 9. The question is what's going to happen between 9 a.m. and 9:05. Right? Are we going to get a stock that moves at the top of the hour? Just mostly sitting patiently here. Have I ever traded options? Yes. I have made money shorting, like selling premium. I've made money selling options. I've lost a lot of money buying options. Yeah. One of the first things I learned to do when I got into trading was options. Probably the worst possible thing I could have learned first. Okay, if you're new to trading, do not just don't do options, all right? Wait at least like 2 years before you even attempt to touch options. You're just going to lose a lot of money. Take it from me. Sell premium every day. No, I mean, I think selling premium on high quality stocks that are oversold is a good strategy. As long as you're willing to hold it. Well, like I said, guys, even if I don't trade today, on the bright side, that's $5,000 that I get interest from. So I'm making money no matter what. Unless I trade and lose money, then I just lose money. But if I don't trade today, then should still be making passive income. Those slow exponential gains. Maybe PNM run up at the open as TCGL 5K. Yeah. It still is. I'm telling you guys, mark my words, by the end of today, between now and the end of today, TCGL is going to be halted pending investigation. I'm telling you. This can't, like, they already halted it here pending news, like, from the company. Like, regulating bodies already reached out and said that they had to comment before resumption. They said there's nothing that describes why the price should be here, and now the price still remains at 200. I'm telling you, they're going to halt it pending investigation. It's going to happen. Mark my words. But yeah, if anybody here is watching and you're not subscribed, then I do stream every day. Unfortunately, I do usually take trades. Just today, there was too many rugs and I didn't see any clean entries. But yeah, if you want to watch me live, I do stream every day. So maybe consider subscribing. Bam. One advertisement for the day. Didn't even do the 8 a.m. Just there was nothing moving. Fingers crossed. We got the 5-minute timer starting. Let's see if we find anything. I guess we can go raid Candy Trader afterwards. I don't have any soup to give him, though. I got no soup. You sell 1 day SPX except over weekends. Okay, 1 day SPX, like, how close to strike are you? Like, because to me, I mean, you could do that. I do have a Discord. I think I might need to update it. 1 second. I'll go ahead and post it here and update it for you guys. Pull up my Discord, get you guys a fresh link, because the old one's probably expired. All right. Okay, here's the Discord link if you guys want to check it out. SCLX, I'll check that out. Okay, there is news. 20 million strategic investment into quantum. Yo, Quantex, it's you. This is yours. This is kind of a neutral catalyst. Yeah, I don't really like that this popped up either. Daily looks very strange, right? This has just been a very brutal grind. Very orchestrated too. Like this is very systematic grind down. Yeah. You could argue it's a value play, but this seems suspicious how this has been selling off. No, I was saying that this company invested $20 million into strategic investments into Quantum Scans holdings. So they invested into you. Quantix. Yeah, man. A bit higher volume on this pullback. Don't really like it. Do I trade after pre-market? I do swing trades, yes. So pre-market, I am deliberately making for day trading. And during the market session is when I'm doing my swing trades. The majority of my income actually comes from during the day session. This pre-market is something I'm just trying to work on to build up extra money. Over the last month, I've made about $90. Or not month, over the last 15 trading days, I will have made about $90. Today's actually the first no-trade day, I think, since starting this challenge. So, unfortunate timing, really. But yeah, I've traded every other day, but just no trades today. I think I'm just going to call it here. And I'm okay with that, right? Today has been a more dangerous day. It seems like it's been higher volatility across the board. I'll go ahead and put out one final poll just for you guys that are still here. We'll give it a couple minutes so you guys can fill this out, I guess. And then I'm probably going to head out. Yep. How long is my swing trades typically? Days, weeks, or longer? There's a whole variety, right? Like, if I buy and then I go straight to target, then I'm just going to sell. But I'm willing to hold upwards of months. Yeah. Because, like, I have other things that I do with it, like selling premium to get extra income. Right, you can do covered calls. There's a whole bunch of different things I do, but it's mostly based off of fundamental plays. Looking at stocks that are undervalued and willing to hold them through the burning, through the bleed. SPHL, I'll take a look at it. This doesn't even have news on it. Volume isn't really super high relative to the daily volume. Pre-market's hard because everything that's been running has been rolling over. Yeah, today, it's not usually this bad. Today, it was really, really bad. Everything that was moving was... We had over 10 stocks immediately roll over whenever they were pumping up. Like, CISS was the first one this morning. When you start the day, 7 o'clock is right here. Pre-market is just opening for a lot of brokers. I'm just getting on. And when I see this as the first stock of the day, like, what is this supposed to tell me? But yeah. Yeah, SPHL, no news. Not only is it no news, but the volume isn't even super high relative volume. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this just pumps and dumps. Yeah, so interestingly, it seems like a lot of you guys haven't traded either. So glad to see I'm not alone here. It seems like the majority of people, well, not the majority, well, no, I would say minority, but out of the three options, it seems a lot of people did not want to take a trade either. So it looks like I'm with most people here today. But yeah, I'm probably going to call it here. No trades for me today. Nice way to at least end the month. So I am going to be ending the month up about $90 in profit. I'll go ahead and make a monthly review sometime this weekend to talk about it. And yeah, we should all go and raid Candyman now. We got to give Candyman the love. So I'll go ahead, before I end the stream, I'm actually going to do it a little different. I'll go ahead and get his link so you guys can find him easier. All right. So here is the link. I don't know if I can post it. Looks like I can. So go to that link. Tell Candyman how much soup you made today.